This is my third time recording this, and I keep realizing that I need to go a little bit faster because I keep getting cut off in the end. So I'm going to try to go as fast as I can and make sense of what I'm talking about. All right, we're integrating the arts into the early childhood classroom. This is the first article that I researched. Just talked about integrating the arts in general. It's called "You Get What You Get: Learner Agency in the Early Childhood Music Classroom." It's talking about color preference and how important it is. And some people think it's petty, you know, when a child says, I want that block, I want the blue block. But that's them expressing their sense of agency. And agency is how they kind of show their responsibility and their sense of self-control. And it's important. It's very important to them. And we have to give them opportunities to show their agency in the classroom. And this can be done through integrating the arts. You can do this through things like egg shakers in the music station, the scarves for dancing, and the beanbags. And you can allow them to choose the color that they want. All right, the second one was the role of arts integration in education and improving student outcomes. So when you integrate the arts into a lesson, it just gives the content more purpose in general, and it's engaging. And who wouldn't want to integrate the arts? So results just show that when you integrate the arts into a lesson, it positively impacts development and growth across the board. All right, music. Classroom management for early childhood music settings. Classroom management is not only about academic achievement, and that's just the truth. It's also about social, emotional growth. And music is a great way to kind of grasp classroom management. And I've seen this because in our practicum classroom, it helps. Because I'm terrible with transitions. Transition times are just absolutely horrible for me. But in the practicum classroom, we've been using a transition song for lunch. So when we want them to clean up their centers and go to lunch, we'll play this song by Cuckoo Kangaroo called Eat Some Lunch or something like that. And they just know, just automatically right off the bat, they know, clean up, go to sit at our table for lunch. And it's amazing. So I put that the grade level for this would be early childhood and pre-K. It's repeating, recalling, and responding to observed or performed dance movements. Well, dance moves. I meant to put in music. It's okay. Anyway, this is for music. Using electronic storybooks to support word learning in children with severe language impairments. So, 2 experiments were carried out. In the first one, the children were given a book with motion picture sounds and music. And then they were also given a book with no music or sounds, and both turned out to be effective. And so they carried out a second experiment. 2 stories had no music or sound. The next had music and sound. And then they were given 2 video stories without music or sound. And then after that, they were given 2 video books with music and sounds. Results proved that sound and music did increase word learning. So that's really cool to know. The grade level that I put was kindergarten. It's Anchor Standard 7, recognize and show a variety of media arts productions and how they create different experiences. The importance of music in the early childhood language curriculum. Songs used in the classroom can allow the appreciation of language, culture, and vocabulary. This was one of my favorite articles that I read because I didn't think about it. It makes total sense, but I didn't think about it doing this to begin with. You can take an ELL and integrate music into the classroom and celebrate their culture and their language, and that is so cool. And I would have never thought about it, but I really love it, and I would like to do that in my classroom one day. All right, I put it, this would be good for a first grade level. Media Arts Analyze 8, Anchor Standard 4, demonstrate knowledge of music concepts and music from a variety of cultures selected for performance. All right, integrating music and mathematics in the elementary classroom. There's so many songs that have math concepts packed into them, and they're great because they work. It would have worked for me as a child. It did work for me as a child because I hated math and loved music. And I remember these little songs that we would do, and they really did help me. And the one that I put on here was Everybody Do a Pattern, and I think about this song all the time, just the clap, stomp, stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, to learn patterns. I love Dr. Jean anyway, though, so, all All right, the grade level is kindergarten. The standard is rehearse, evaluate, and refine 12 anchor standard 5, recalling and applying suggested strategies in rehearsal. Examples are rhythm patterns and steady beats. The effects of music on basic mathematic fact fluency for third grade students. So a third grade teacher carried out an experiment in her classroom. So the first group, they did math, but they had music instruction with it. The second group did not receive mathematic related music instruction, and the results showed just a tiny difference, but engagement definitely increased in the first group that had the music instruction. I put this on a third grade level, MAAS 3.9, extend numeric and non-numeric patterns of 2 terms. And the media is Equal Groups Multiplication Song by Number Rock. It was very cute. Creative movement. Now we're on to something different. Activation of hypoactive children with creative movement and dance in primary school. So hypoactive children are usually the children that don't get that much attention. Their behavior is usually not a problem. They're quiet. You don't have to call their name all the time. But creative movement is very important to them, or for them, because we want to let them experiment with communicating and expressing themselves, and that's what creative movement is all about, expressing emotions. Okay, so I put for the media, Morning Stretch by Dr. Jean, another Dr. Jean, because I love her. All right, the power of creative dance. Creative movement and dance includes physical, or can impact physical health, self-expression, and creativity. I just got so confused, but it's okay. Okay, so there's evidence that shows that there's a connection between the brain and body movement, and I thought we all know this, but it's there anyway. Body movement keeps you alert, engaged, and motivated. Movement and dance in the inclusive classroom. So I gotta speed it up because I don't have much time, but creative movement is great for kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic learners are the ones that learn best by getting up, getting active, and doing hands-on activities, and that's why creative movement is great for them, because they are engaged. Good. This is the Count to 100 workout song by Jack Hartman. I love Jack Hartman. All right, the use of creative movement method in teaching foreign languages to very young language learners. So, movement is one of the child's first language learned. And when I read this, I was like, that absolutely makes sense. I would have never thought of it, but it makes sense. And so you take that and you build from it, because everybody knows the movements. Like if you're saying, I don't know, if you're just pointing something, you want to look over there. Everybody knows that. It's just a movement. That's universal. So when you take those movements and you connect them to words, you can build and go from there. And they can learn new vocabulary in a new language, and that's so cool to me. This is a little song that they did and a little dance. It was very cute, but I got to keep going. This is just talking about the 4 types of movement: locomotors, combination motion, non-locomotors, and manipulatives. There's that's the Locomotor Skills Bop It Challenge by Fitness Hustle TV. I wish I had time to play it, but I don't. But it's very cute. Drama. Ways into critical literacy in the early childhood years. So it's talking about role, tension, focus, symbolism, and reflection, and how it allows the children to think about different outcomes and different actions that characters in the story could have carried out. It's pretty cool. Story drama. Well, no. Oops. Reader's theater. Story dramatization in the classroom. All right. So we're talking about tension and building that sense of tension, and that engages the students, and it has them to think deeply about what the characters can do, what the characters are saying. They're exploring all those new words and new vocabulary. And an outcome of that is that it can improve their writing skills, because they hear that story and they think about ways they could rewrite the lines or a different ending that it could have had. That's very interesting to me. And there's a role-playing emotions video. This one's just talking about how beneficial storytelling is for kindergartners. I'm going to keep going because we're going to run out of time completely. Drama in the classroom encourages children to think flexibly and express their creativity through dramatic play, and it increases understanding for storytelling and all those kinds of things. It's really cool. Theater is therapy for children with autism spectrum disorder. So, children with autism often have times with social perception, And drama and theater in the classroom is a great way to help them. It helps them remember faces, kind of learn about different facial expressions and how they portray emotion, because sometimes they have a hard time doing that and predicting the behaviors that people are going to have, predicting how people are going to react to things. It's very beneficial for them. Sensory activities. All right, we're getting there. Sensory play is anything that engages a child's senses. And one thing you can do is math. You can do a math sensory bin like this one. This is on a grade level for kindergarten. The sensory activities in the early childhood classroom, examining the multisensory characteristics of hands-on science activities. A science activity. Later we talk about you can do a sensory bottle for weather changes. You can do a sensory bin, sensory board. They're all cool, but I really love this. This sensory bin for weather. It is so cute, and I cannot wait to do it in my classroom. And it's a grade level for kindergarten, and it's SCIASSK10. That is the standard. Effects of finger counting on numerical development, the opposing views of neurocognition and mathematics education. And it's called finger sense. That's just what some people call it. Sounds a little odd, but it's called finger sense. And it's been proven that children with good finger sense are successful in mathematics. And it was talking about how, you start out, you count little numbers. So you start on your left hand, 1 through 5. And then when the numbers start to get bigger, you use your right hand. And it's just like reading. You go from left to right. And that's an example of the connection between finger sense and mathematics. Counting, giving each object or finger a name, 1, and that's just 1, 2, 3, and you've assigned a number name to each of these objects. And that's very cool to me, and there's a picture of a child doing that. The grade level kindergarten, MAAS K4 is the standard. All right. Effects of sensory integration intervention on self-stimulating and self-injurious behaviors. So these are students who display disruptive or destructive behavior. And they carried out this experiment, and they gave these children kind of objects that would calm them, any kind of sensory object that would calm these students down. And the results came back, and it was great because it definitely had a positive impact on the children. They stopped their self-stimulating and self-injurious behaviors, and something that they do is they just repeat behaviors for no reason, like just no reason at all, but they just do. And it declined greatly after giving them the sensory objects. So that's amazing to me. That's a calm down kit. Very cute. The water and sand table. The blessing and the curse. All right. So, at a sand and water table, the child sits and then they put their hands in and they can just do whatever with whatever's in the bin. Something you can do with this is it introduces the children to natural elements in the world and in habitats, and specific habitats, and they can get in there and they can create replicas of habitats in the sand and water table, and that's really cool. Here's one with dinosaurs. It's so cute. Standard is SCIAAS K5, and it's a kindergarten level. I gotta keep going. Ooh, my classroom puppet. She's looking a little rough today, but cute, and this would go in the drama and theater. This is my Christmas sensory bottle. It's very sparkly. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got jingle bells in the bottom. I loved it. I think I'm going to keep it for set it out during Christmas time. And for my creative movement, I have a movement cube, and you just roll it, whatever it lands on, you do. So it's like, that's a bad picture, so it has some really weird like shadows and stuff, but like waddle like a penguin, then you'd waddle, and then there's walk like a turtle, and you'd walk slowly, do that kind of thing. And this, I don't have much time left at all, but we're going to get there. This is my class handout for integrating the arts. So let's see if we can do this on time. Here we go. All right, there's my cover page for that. Here's my first QR code, and it's just showing the different websites for integrating the arts. And there was one specific one that I really liked called Minds in Bloom. Let's see, where is it at? It was the last one. Yep, Minds in Bloom. It was so cute. If you've never seen it, you should look at it. It's very amazing. But my 15 minutes is almost up. this project was a good thing, a hard thing, but a good thing. And I'm very glad to be done.